In a league fueled by flash, soundbites, and the hunger for viral moments, there's something quietly remarkable about a player who just does the work. No theatrics. No demands. Just buckets, and the kind that make defenders shake their heads. Kelsey Mitchell is that player. She doesn't move with noise. She glides through defenders with footwork so sharp it could carve glass. She doesn't sell her game with words, she sells it with results. And in doing so, she's become one of the most efficient and unrelenting scorers in modern WNBA history. From her very first steps onto a basketball court, Mitchell's game was built on discipline. She doesn't talk about greatness, she executes it. At Ohio State, she became one of the most prolific scorers the college game has ever seen. Over her 4-year career, she amassed 3,402 points, the second most in NCAA women's basketball history at the time. She didn't just score, she mastered it. Game after game, she put up 20, 30, sometimes even 40, with poise and accuracy. The way she created off the dribble, manipulated defenders, and drilled step-back threes made her feel inevitable, even when everyone in the building knew the ball was in her hands. But when the WNBA came calling in 2018, Mitchell didn't walk into a ready-made system. She was drafted second overall to a rebuilding Indiana Fever squad, one without a clear identity, a stable core, or a recent history of winning. Many would have seen that as a challenge too great to endure. But Mitchell saw it as opportunity. She knew who she was, and she wasn't looking for shortcuts. She came to build, not a brand, but a legacy. And since then, she's gone about her business with terrifying consistency. Year after year, she's among the league leaders in scoring. She's a walking bucket with a release so quick it feels like a glitch. Her footwork is elite. Her handle is tight. And when she's in rhythm, there's no defensive scheme that can keep her from her spots. Whether she's splitting double teams, pulling up off screens, or driving through traffic to finish with finesse, her control of the offensive game is near surgical. And yet, for all that brilliance, the spotlight rarely finds her. That's part of what makes Kelsey Mitchell so fascinating. She has all the traits of a superstar: skill, confidence, leadership, and production, but she doesn't operate like one who craves the world's attention. While other stars engage in showmanship, she leans on precision. While others play to the crowd, she plays to the rhythm of the game. There's a patience in her play, a maturity that shows in her decision-making and emotional control. And when the moment demands it, she doesn't hesitate, she strikes. The irony is that Mitchell's excellence doesn't go unnoticed where it matters most. Coaches game plan around her. Defenders dread her. Teammates trust her. Opposing guards know that when they line up across from her, they're not just facing a scorer, they're facing a technician. Someone who understands the angles, the tempo, the reads. Someone who has seen every coverage and learned to dismantle it without ever raising her voice. Over time, Mitchell has added layers to her game. She's evolved from a pure scorer into a more complete floor general. She knows when to pass, when to create, when to slow down, and when to turn on the jets. She's sharpened her understanding of pace and space. She's learned how to guide a young team through growing pains. And through it all, she's remained unshakably poised. That's the thing about silent assassins: they don't miss. They don't rush. They just execute. And that evolution hasn't been by accident. Kelsey Mitchell is a product of relentless work. You can see it in how fluid her jumper looks, how calmly she handles pressure, how seamlessly she adjusts to different defensive looks. Behind the quiet exterior is a competitor with a motor that never idles. A player who logs hours in the gym when no one's watching, who reviews film not for praise, but for precision. Her greatness is built on process, not personality. The numbers back it up. Mitchell has consistently ranked among the WNBA's top guards in scoring, three-point shooting, and usage rate. She scores efficiently despite being the focal point of most defensive schemes. She's had games where she's dropped 30 on elite defenders, where she's taken over fourth quarters with calculated cold-bloodedness. Her performance doesn't spike, it settles, like a metronome, week in and week out. She's one of the few players who could put up 28 points and still feel like she's flying under the radar. And still, with all that, you rarely see her on the highlight shows. You rarely see her trending. But that doesn't bother her. Because Mitchell isn't playing to be seen, she's playing to win. And as Indiana now begins to reshape itself with exciting young talent like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, it's Mitchell who provides the grounding. The balance. The muscle memory of years when things weren't easy. She's the veteran who stayed when she could have left. The foundation others are lucky to stand on. Her voice in the locker room is calm but firm. She teaches by example. She leads with work ethic. She offers wisdom, not attention. And the younger players feel it. Because in every gym, on every team, there's always that one person who doesn't talk much. But when they do, everyone listens. That's Kelsey Mitchell. Even off the court, her presence is intentional. She isn't drawn to noise, but she speaks with thoughtfulness when she does speak. Her interviews are mature, grounded, and team-focused. She supports causes that matter. She's active in her community. She embraces the role of a pro who understands the responsibility of the jersey she wears. In every sense, she's a role model. Not because she asks to be, but because she carries herself like one. In sports, we often crown the loudest as the greatest. But there's something sacred about those who don't need to be loud. About players who win quietly. Who execute relentlessly. Who lead without headlines. Kelsey Mitchell is one of those rare athletes who lets her game write the story. And it's a story worth reading closely. Thank you for taking this quiet journey through the brilliance of Kelsey Mitchell, a scorer without the swagger, a leader without the noise, and a competitor whose relentless work ethic speaks volumes. She may never dominate headlines, but she's quietly dominated the hardwood with a poise and purpose few can match. If you believe in consistency over chaos, in discipline turned into dominance, and in the kind of greatness that doesn't knock but simply walks in, gets to work, and makes everything better, then don't let this story end here. Thumbs up like this to honor the ones who win without needing a stage. Repeat button share it with someone who knows real power doesn't always shout. And pushpin subscribe for more stories about those who let their game speak louder than words. Until next time, move with purpose, speak with action, and remember, some players make noise. Kelsey Mitchell makes statements. And she never has to say a word.